Executor, the edgy boy, our old favorite samurai that everyone is using because he can transform into a wolf and he can parry like in Sekiro, which is pretty amazing. Now in this video we're going to talk about a build, a very powerful build for this guy. However, there's a little bit of a couple of little small requirements in here. I do want to stress out that the best advice that I have made a whole video about this, and that is that you should always be using the boss's weapon weaknesses whenever you're fighting bosses. The Executor, this build to some extent is going to be a little bit more general. This guy can fight whoever he wants to, however he wants to, whenever he wants to, without the necessity to actually having to use the weakness that the enemy is using, because this guy is the master. This is going to be a general build that you can carry in through every single boss fight, whether it's on solo or in expedition with your friends. That is because this is the status ailments guy. The status ailments, like in Elden Ring, right in here on Nightreign, they are very powerful. They are pretty broken. There's bleed that deals a huge amount of health damage to the enemy. There's also frost, which deals a huge amount of damage to the enemy. But also, not only that, frost is going to make it so that the enemy is going to be more receptive to enemy attacks, to your attacks and your party attacks. So it's a debuff on them. And the one amazing thing about this is that the Executor can just be proccing all of those status ailments in a couple of hits, because he has S in Arcane. And for the new people playing Elden Ring Nightreign that didn't play the actual base game of Elden Ring, or everyone that is not aware of, the actual status ailments scale out of Arcane. So the more Arcane you have, the more likely for you to proc a status ailment upon the enemy. So this build is going to be focused solely on actually proccing as much status ailments on the enemy, but at the same time we are going to be receiving a damage bonus, a damage buff, whenever we're proccing those status ailments. The amazing thing about this is that also you do not have to progress into the Executor questline that much, because we're just going to be using the basic Executor's Urn, which is the very first one that you get. We're not even going to be using the goblet. Reason for that being is that because we're actually using 2 boss runes, relics, right in here. And that's the one downside about this build. You have to defeat the dragon and also the moth, because of what we get out of this guys right here. The combo, it's just tremendously amazing. First, we have Knight of the Wise, which is going to increase our maximum FP. That's actually not that amazing. However, it is going to make a synergy with the other one that we have right in here. But the most important thing is that the starting armament inflicts poison. There, you already have one status ailment. Whenever you poison an enemy, you're going to increase your attack power. So, not only are they going to be receiving the poison damage, but also you're going to increase your attack power. So, you're going to natively be dealing more damage on itself whenever you have poison enemies. Which, like I said, because of your high arcane, this is just going to take a couple of hits for you to poison enemies. And then we have the Knight of the Miasma. For the Knight of the Miasma, you need to have defeated the dragon. This is going to change the compatible armament skill to Chilling Mist at the start of the expedition. This is not going to change your weapon. This is going to change your weapon. Your starting weapon is going to have poison, and then that poison weapon is going to have the Chilling Mist. This also scales out of Arcane, so meaning that you're going to be proccing that amazing status ailment, which is Frostbite, that is going to deal a damage to a chunk of the health bar of the enemy. But not only that, whenever you deal that chunk of the enemy's health bar, your attack power is going to increase whenever you're facing a frost-bitten afflicted enemy. Meaning that you're going to be dealing the status ailment. The enemy is going to have the frozen debuff, meaning that the enemy takes more damage, but also at the same time you're going to have a bonus attack power that stacks. This actually does stacks, so you're going to have the attack power right in here and then right in here. For the final one, I just have this regular rune. You can be using something from the questline that increases your abilities or skills or things like that, but right in here, having improved the katana attack power and dexterity. Arcane is also a very good idea to have right right in here. The one thing that you need to have in mind is that this is actually going to buff your weapon whenever you're using Chilling Mist, which is also going to have a cost on decrease on FP cost, because precisely we have that specific relic from the dragon. This means that now all you have to do the next part of the build will be trying to get a weapon that the boss that you're fighting is weak to and hold it on your offhand so that you're taking advantage of the enemy's weaknesses, but also you have a huge amount of status ailment proccing, whilst at the same time whenever you're dealing status ailments to the enemies, you're also going to be dealing lots of damage because of the increased attack power and the debuff that you're placing upon the enemies. This guy is just a monster truck of dealing damage and taking advantage of everything that you have out there. When it comes to the hidden powers that you will be getting while fighting out there, the things that I say that you should be prioritizing would be the health. Whenever you can get health, that's ideal. Whenever you get iframes, that's actually ideal. Dodging for this character is pretty much something that you are going to need because he doesn't have that much HP. But you can pair it up with a shield. Like, do not neglect the usage of a shield. Like, using shields with this guy is actually pretty amazing because, like I said, you already have bleeding, you have poison, you have frostbite on one single hand. On your off hand, yes, of course, you can be using, like, for example, the element that the boss is weak to, but right in here you already have 3 elements that are going to be debuffing the enemy, that are going to be buffing you, so do not neglect a shield. There are not many chances for you to get a shield as an Executioner, but also you can check the merchants to see if they have shields. But if you feel comfortable with iframes and you have been getting lots of iframes for dodging, then that's ideal. The things that you should be prioritizing when it comes to the hidden powers is going to be HP, is going to be stamina recovery, and also physical damage negation and affinity negation. Everything that makes you more tankier, everything that makes you more durable. Even when you get like more stance damage, or whenever you get like more affinity damage, do not take those because you are already beefed up. But even then, the Executioner, while not as squishy as other classes, it's not as durable, for example, as a Wilder or a Raider or a Guardian. So you do need to beef up your character, especially if you're playing solo like I'm doing right in here. That's going to be of the utmost importance for you to be able to survive and to be dealing, because like I said, the damage, you already have it. Anyways, if you like the content, like and the video, super appreciated. Nostalgia today, you gorgeous, beautiful person. You're in the gorgeous and beautiful person. Subscribe to the channel, join Discord. Have a beautiful day, goodbye.